Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening, everyone. A Greyhound Racing report indicates Tasmanian taxpayers are bearing the brunt, showing they're receiving less in returns despite rising public investment. Animal welfare groups commissioning the report, with independent economist Saul Eslake crunching the value of subsidies, saying it cannot be justified on economic, social or ethical grounds.
A concerning prospect for Tasmanian taxpayers. Funding for the Greyhound Racing industry rising at more than double the rate of other jurisdictions, according to a new report.
The Tasmanian government has been throwing good money after bad for a very long period of time.
Every Tasmanian pays, on average, $13 a year to subsidise this industry, and on the mainland it's less than $6.
The industry receiving almost $75 million over the last 15 years, at a rate higher than what public education gets. That has raised eyebrows.
This is a dog of an industry. It is unaffordable. It's sucking public money out of the public purse.
It does not have community support. It is a cruel industry, and certainly it does not generate the economic activity.
Independent economist Saul Eslake claims it's an industry almost completely dependent on government funding.
Given Tasmania's financial position, to reducing the deficit and paying down debt. And there are plenty of other areas where it could be more usefully spent, including health, education and housing.
Many calling for that investment to end when the funding deed expires, with nearly 80% of Tasmanians surveyed in a poll last year opposing the practice.
Socialisation has been completely off the radar of people with greyhounds in the greyhound racing industry.
Tas Racing says this isn't the case, with wagering turnover increasing by nearly 20% in the last 5 years. The state government also reaffirming the industry is solid.
The amount of money that industry produces for Tasmania, over $200 million worth of benefits to the community, and we support that industry.
Tas Racing says 40% of funding directly benefits regional communities, but whether the industry survives remains in limbo. Rebecca Gadaneris, 7 Tasmania News.
More people are securing jobs in Hobart, with employment growth in the capital outpacing the national average, according to new figures released today. But experts warn a shortage of housing could undermine future opportunities for the next generation of workers.
As our young generations explore future careers, there's some positive news on the job front, especially for those just starting to find their footing in the workforce.
And Hobart is going better than the national average, and we're near record low unemployment.
Consulting firm KPMG releasing new figures showing employment in Hobart is growing, up by around 3%.
Health is featured very heavily, as you can imagine, with an ageing population. Healthcare jobs are growing, education is as well.
But there's a catch. A growing job market requires a growing housing supply.
We think about Hobart, there's projected 10,000 jobs to be created in the next 4 years, and if we don't have the building approvals and the housing to house those workers, then that could be a constraint on the growth as well.
Labor is pointing to fresh figures from the Housing Industry Association.
We should be doing everything we can to get new housing out of the ground, but instead in this state we rank dead last in the country, and we're last on most of the indicators, or second last.
But the government says it's heeding the call, unlocking 615 hectares in Greater Hobart, enough it claims to build nearly 10,000 new homes.
We have to train and keep people in the industry and keep them here in Tasmania building homes.
But without adequate housing, many young Tasmanians may be forced to head down another road. Lily Thompson, 7 Tasmania News.
Locally again, and the people who work behind the scenes in our public schools to keep them running smoothly are rallying for a bigger slice of next week's state budget. The school business managers say their pay structure hasn't changed in 16 years, despite shouldering more responsibility.
This is a really important workforce. They make schooling happen, and it's really important that we make sure that we have a pay structure that ensures that we can recruit and retain this workforce.
We're feeling very undervalued, and I just don't think that they actually even know what a school business manager does.
According to the union, no progress has been made on a draft pay structure submitted last year. The state government says the Education Department is continuing to work on the matter. The state government may be looking for wriggle room in its stadium deal with the AFL. Minister in charge, Erica Betts, not ruling out a contract renegotiation during a debate on ABC Radio.
He let the cat out of the bag when he said never say never about an AFL contract renegotiation. Well, what we're hearing from Tasmanians is that do it now. Start getting ready, make those calls.
No stadium, no team. And we can pull different parts of conversations apart, but at the end of the day, that is what has been negotiated and that's what we are sticking with.
It's understood the state government has also been exploring stadium designs without a roof prior to yesterday's criticism from Cricket Australia. As unprecedented numbers of Tasmanian families face food insecurity, a government-funded grants program is giving charities the support they need to deal with rising demand. And there's one organisation in the state's north that can't wait to put the money to good use.
Plating up a paella.
That's the fancy stuff. That's perfect.
Glenhaven Family Care's Kentish House in Sheffield receiving a $10,000 portion of an almost $500,000 government grant program for food relief.
It can be as simple as just providing, some bread and milk for some people, and that's just a huge relief because they don't have to worry about that.
The grant helping the charity put together more than 80 hampers, so struggling families in the local area don't need to choose between paying bills and putting food on the table.
Making a difference for one family is big. Making a difference for 80 plus is huge.
Cost of living pressures forcing growing numbers of Tasmanians to seek support for the first time, and the demographic shift is noticeable on the front lines.
We're seeing people who are retired, families that are working, people are having rent stresses and mortgage payment stresses.
The circumstances that make people unable to feed their families can come across any of us suddenly.
Hampers including basic staples, toiletries and laundry items, plus products for people with dietary requirements, along with food for school lunches.
Then their children aren't missing out and they're not seen to be different in the playground.
This organisation won a 55 statewide, including City Mission, Oz Harvest, Strike It Out and the Launceston Benevolent Society, receiving grants to help fight food insecurity. The government promising $7 million of additional food relief in next week's budget.
Obviously it'd be great to get more and for it to be continuous.
Tom Crosby, 7 Tasmania News.
Well, they say birds of a feather flock together, and that's certainly been the case for a northern Tasmanian Budgies breeder. He says his hobby helped lift him out of the doldrums and put him on the national stage.
Not just the third most popular pet in the world, for some, Budgies are serious business. That's been the case for one of the state's leading budgie breeders and exhibitors, with 4 of his prize birds heading to Cairns to compete on the national stage this weekend. Already a state football champion, John Burt's now looking to soar to the loftiest of heights again in his hobby.
I'm a first-year exhibitor for the Tasmania team, just representing the state. Proud to do that too.
The National Budgies Championships, a place where the best of the best gather.
Dedication, passion, and putting in the time.
But it's not all about competition. John also using the occasion to address the topic of mental health, highlighting his own journey with anxiety and depression and the value of having a hobby.
Being the major factor, I think, in helping me. I've had help from other people and stuff like that, but the birds have got me back into connecting with other people.
Over the years, he's been in and out of the scene, but his interest has always remained, and he's in no doubt of what the relationship with his feathered friends has meant to his life, hoping his story will encourage others struggling with mental health to find their own comfort.
I don't think people really understand how many people suffer from mental health. They go sort of under the radar, keep to themselves, especially blokes.
Matthew Watson, 7 Tasmania News.
Commuters in Hobart's northeast will soon have better access to public transport. The sod is being turned for a new park and ride at Midway Point. The development includes 59 parking spaces, allowing locals to leave their cars before travelling into the CBD.
Facilities like this are vital to get that smooth transition for everybody, take the pressure off the roads that bit and just make it easier for people that wish to park here.
The piece of infrastructure coming just in time with the growing population requiring access to vital services.
The health requirement is and childcare are the two main ones that we are addressing at the moment. There's obviously, as the community grows, their needs change and grow.
Construction is expected to be complete late this year. Kicking goals and breaking down barriers. That's the aim of Variety Tasmania Kids Sports Days, with one today in Kingborough. Organisers saying it gives all children equal opportunity to experience the joy of sport regardless of their ability.
These kids having plenty of fun at an accessible sports day. Variety Tasmania breaking down barriers to give children living with a disability the chance to enjoy sports.
It's really important that we do, that these sort of things are on, that we get to actually participate in cricket, soccer, all the things. Isn't it, Tom? Because you have fun.
Providing children with different ability the chance to try and explore different sports in a non-judgmental and welcoming and safe environment.
With softball, bocce and tennis just some of the games played, some might just pick up a new passion.
It's just about planting seeds. You know, down the track they might say, oh, I played bocce or AFL and continue on.
The day also a chance for children to meet new friends.
The social component that the kids have access to, so not only mixing with students from their own school but also meeting students from different schools.
There's still 5 more kids' sports days coming this term, including in Ulverston and Deloraine. Applications are open for term 3. Billy Gibbons, 7 Tasmania News.
It's taken nearly 2 years, but South African Hurricanes player Lizelle Lee is here to stay. After being granted Australian residency, the 33-year-old has signed on with the Canes for the next 2 seasons. The hard-hitting batter is a force to be reckoned with, last summer knocking the highest ever WBBL score with 150 not out, and back-to-back centuries.
I just got the call and I was like, this is probably the best news that I've got this whole year, and this off a very good season of Big Bash, or in the middle of Big Bash, but it was just something that we really wanted.
Now, as a local player, Lee opens up an international spot for new overseas talent to join the squad. The Northwest side are in for a shock during the first rep clash this weekend, according to their NTFA rivals. Both the men and women are brimming with confidence, with plenty of talent for selectors to choose from.
It wouldn't have been easy for the coaches. Probably stronger than previous years, so yeah, it's really exciting to get out there and see how we do go.
I know the Northwest always come out with a fair bit of fight, and they've had a pretty proud history in the rep footy, so I'll back us in every step of the way.
The men's team also have the benefit of selecting from TSL winners North Launceston, now that they're in the NTFA.
Good evening. Hobart and Devonport 16 today, a degree warmer in Launceston and Burnie with 17. Friendly Beaches saw our high today of 18, the Islands, Smithton and St Helens all 17, Lowhead 16, Grove and Strawn 14, 11 for both Bushy Park and Laiweni. Overcast low cloud moved over the west and the Furneaux Islands today, but we saw sunny skies elsewhere. Extensive areas of low to high cloud are visible about the coast of New South Wales. Tomorrow, a trough will move over central Victoria and parts of New South Wales. Northeast to northwesterly winds increasing up to 25 knots in the south, although east to northeasterly through Bass Strait. Southwesterly swells are on the increase to 5 metres in southern waters. Frost warnings continue tomorrow for the Midlands and Upper Derwent Valley. More sunshine on the way in Hobart and Campania as we welcome Friday. 19's the top, 19 also in Huonville, but they're expecting a morning frost. The north can expect a few showers, 19 in Launceston, Devonport 17 and 18 the top in Georgetown. Showery across the west, 17 in Burnie, Strawn and Wynyard, both 18 degrees. Increasing showers in St Helens, 18 also, a few showers in Swansea 19, a sunny day in Port Arthur with 18 expected there. And as we welcome the weekend, we can expect showers on Saturday, more frequent about the north and east during the morning, developing west later in the evening. Sunday, showers about the west and north, but mainly fine elsewhere. And on Monday, showers continue about the west and north, extending statewide throughout the day. Further north now, possible storms we can see over Sydney, 21, a fine day in Adelaide and Brisbane, 16 with showers developing over Melbourne. Clear across the state, Hobart 11 degrees right now, Launceston and Devonport both 7. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow, Kim.
And likewise, and I believe a little girl is having a birthday tomorrow, so we'll see you and celebrate. That is all your news for now. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Good night.